welcome to another edition of After the Whistle 2023. We are back after, I think we was off for a couple weeks, so we back, refreshed and all that, into the new year. Cold. It's cold. It's cold. I'm here. Todd's here.
I'm back.
Pedro's back from his sabbatical. As you can say, man. Hope y'all had a good New Year.
Good Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a good Christmas and all that good stuff, man. There's a lot happening in the world and all that.
A safe New Year too, and hopefully nobody got sick. I know people got sick over the New Year.
A lot of people got sick.
Yeah, I mean it was raining for one. The weather was awful, but you know, it should have made the best of it.
I was in Vegas. It was cold. 50 degrees.
But that 50 degrees feels a little different.
Oh yeah. It was, it still needed a jacket, but it's like you just needed a light jacket. Like our 50 degrees, you could go out there short sleeves and stuff like that. But
depending on the weather, because it was like almost it was 50 over the weekend.
Oh, bro.
And it was kind of warm, but you know that sea breeze down the street smacked in the back of the neck. That's why I stay with a hoodie, everybody.
Yeah. That's why I always have this hat on, because I'm cold. Oh, man. Some NFL, a lot of NFL stuff happening. We'll first start off with Monday Night Football, which ended up, they had to suspend the game. I didn't watch this game, particularly because I had just gotten back and I was tired. But my mom told me, she was like, did you just see that guy collapse on the field? I was like, huh? What are you talking about? And then I didn't see the play. I didn't want to see the play, but I just started seeing the stories and stuff like that, and it was like they had to do CPR. They said he had like a heart aneurysm or something like that. It was just scary.
Yeah, I saw the play. I mean, it was basically the beginning of the game, first quarter. And routine tackle.
Bang, bang, one of them bang, bang plays.
Just a simple, like, wasn't even that high, just routine, like, you know what I mean? He had to relieve the pressure, you know what I mean? Because contact hit him, but he brought him down. But it was one of them weird things where I try to, like, explain to somebody, like, athletes is tough, like, controlling your breathing and stuff like that. Granted, I'm sure that's not the case with him, but, like, there's been times on the court where, like, you felt like you about to pass out and you had to, like, calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Just because you're in the middle of a situation, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, hopefully he's all right, but, like, we have to do a better job at trying to find out if people have issues beforehand, like heart issues and things like that. Granted, they do their best, but I feel like medicine needs to be a little further ahead.
For some reason, the crazy thing about the heart, sometimes it just be these, some stuff with the heart is just like, you can't even, you go through all the tests and it's not there, and then something like that happened. They said, so the last report I read, they said he's still in critical condition in the hospital, but they said that it's been a lot more positive, it's a lot more positive with him in the hospital. Like, they've been having some positive news, and they think he's doing better than what it was.
It's just sad, you know what I mean? You never want to see anybody almost lose their life.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a sporting event, especially a game.
Yeah.
But, like, football is just a sport that, like, injuries and unfortunate events are kind of just part of the game.
And this is probably maybe, like, the first time that I could ever think of that an NFL game had to be stopped, completely stopped, suspended.
As it should have been, because there's been other events in our lifetime that people have died at, that all they did was scrub the ring as clean as they could and continued the show.
I mean, shoot, didn't they continue playing with Reggie Lewis collapse on?
I'm not sure. I was talking about Owen Hart.
Oh, yeah. There was Owen Hart.
Yeah,
Reggie Lewis.
Yeah, so.
Who was the other guy? There was a college basketball player. It was like years ago. I think it was like Lemoyne or something like that. He had a heart issue. He was a big dude.
Yeah, man. I hate hearing about these things because I was telling the kids as a parent, man, all you do is just pray when your kid leaves the house. I said, your parents probably pray when you leave the house, just hoping nothing happens to y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hoping y'all come home safely. Nothing drastic. You know what I mean? Just want the best for you, for people when they leave the house.
Like. Even the Florida player, the one that collapsed too on the court.
Man,
Yeah, there's been like a lot of incidences where players have collapsed and stuff. The game continued, but this one it was just like this is they're giving CPR right on the field. It's kind of like and it's a good thing that the coaches came in and said, well, yeah, we're just gonna call this a day, because I mean, there's absolutely no way anybody in their right mind can play the game. There's actually the fans. I'm like, if I was a fan, I'm like, I can't watch though. I can't watch.
Nah, it's just
it's too much.
It's unfortunate, but people see that life is more important than these big money games.
Yeah.
Some of these insensitive people are stressing over on social media and stuff like that, and I'm like, regardless of how you feel, man, a man's life is on the line. So I don't care how much money you put on the bet, you know what I mean, on the team or the game. Like, that got nothing to do with anything. So
it's like once it's like you're talking about someone's life, it's like everything at that point is irrelevant.
And then you got people who are in higher positions on the social media platform or the media platform that need to do a better job at proofreading before they type, because I understood the message, but it came off very insensitive, just because the wording was just kind of like, all right, yeah.
But he's coming at it from a different perspective.
No, definitely.
Because he's coming at it, because, thing is, those are questions people having behind the scenes, but he's more like a journalist, and he's coming at it from a journalistic perspective. There's a lot of people that just, sometimes you don't need to react to everything people says. Like, there was a lot of people that reacted to that. I mean, even all the former players that reacted, people in the media field that reacted to that, and it was just like, y'all should know better. Y'all need to do better. Stop reacting off your emotion, because somebody said tweets could get you fired. And then some of the other players, like the thing, one of my issues was like with all the former players that came at him. They were very quiet. They didn't come at Bart Scott went on TV and tried to blame the receiver, the Bengals receiver. Try to blame him for what happened.
Blame him for what? Doing his job, and then he got tackled.
Yeah. So it was just like, all right. So where are all those folks? Like, y'all had all that energy for that man, but this is a guy that played the game too. So y'all would like, why ain't y'all channeling that same type of energy to that? Because it's kind of like, I'm sure he feels bad too.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who that. I ain't even hear nothing about that. Really know who he is. So that's the reason why people didn't jump down his neck, because he's not as irrelevant as the man you see every day on ESPN. So it's just, my whole thing is, the reason why I feel people jumped on, because you had more than enough time to proofread. That's all it is. That's all it was, you know what I mean? And you could have corrected how it came out.
But sometimes with tweets, it's just like, people will interpret it how they want to interpret it. Because he could have just been like, and the people completely ignored the 3 previous tweets he put out about, like his first tweet was like, I'm saying a prayer for that young man and his family. The one that everybody completely ignored and didn't want to bring out, the 4th tweet. But yeah, but the good thing is he got a lot of fundraisers, because I think like he was a business partner or like what business partner, a friend. He's
Hamlin?
Hamlin. Yeah. I think it's his business partner or one of his friends.
They just had a toy drive.
Yeah.
Over like Christmas.
Yeah, they said like his foundation has received like over $3 million in donations. That's pretty dope though. That's good though.
But praying for him.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully he gets better. He pulls through. But from the last thing I read, it was positive. They were saying positive.
Yeah, I was reading on them today.
And other transitioning in other AFC East news. The Patriots, it's a win or go home for them. They're in a situation now, which they put themselves in by losing some games that they should have won earlier in the season. And now it's coming down. They come off with a win over Miami, who Tua was out with another concussion. That's like 3 or 4 concussions he's had this season. It's just,
yeah, man, it's looking like the new Aikman. I'm not even trying to be funny, but like,
it's bad, and it's like each one too. It's like hard his head.
And I just feel like once you get a couple, you're just, you know what I mean.
Yeah, any like little hit.
Yeah, you have a higher chance of getting more concussions, kind of like Troy did. That's why they was giving him a time. Like, you get 2 or 3 more concussions, bro, you got to retire.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's bad. It's bad. But the Patriots, they came out with the big plays that we've been asking for all year. They hit the big plays. The defense is making plays all year. Kyle Duggan with I think that was his 4th pick 6 of the year.
Okay.
But overall, they needed to win. They did their job. They got the win, putting themselves in a position to have a chance to make it in the playoffs. Just gotta win one more game.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Pats, man. You guys had no choice but to get this win, especially Pats Nation. We are not big on you losing to Miami. What? They lost to them early in the season, right? Yeah, we're definitely not big on you losing twice to them guys. And they're playing with two quarterbacks. They're just trying to make things work. They didn't help their quarterbacks out by barely rushing the ball compared to how much they should have ran the ball. When these quarterbacks going there, just giving you intel.
And you coming up here too.
Man, like
you come up here.
Yeah, they didn't do their team no favors.
Yeah,
and only completing 4 third downs the whole entire game. That's gonna get you nowhere.
Listen, so look, the Dolphins, they were at one point, they were like 8-3 or something like that. Yeah, 8-3 at one point in this season. They have lost 5 in a row since that 8-3 start, and they look like a team that was like, we looked at them and to me like, oh, these guys, they got weapons, they playing really good defense, they got everything, and now it's just like everything started going downhill.
Their biggest Achilles heel is just staying healthy and protecting that quarterback.
Yeah. You ain't lying. You are not lying. So yeah, it's definitely a win situation for the Patriots. The Patriots, they go to Buffalo, who I don't even, the Bills, they already secured their playoff spot. I think now it's just like seedings and stuff like that. But who knows what kind of mindset they're in, the Bills coming in. Because, this stuff just happened Monday, and now you got to get ready for a season finale game.
They're all professionals, so they'll be all right.
They'll be all right, but I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if they rested their starters, depending, because
for safety precautions,
Yeah, because I think, let me look right here. Right now, them and the Chiefs have the same No, the Chiefs got the number 1 seed right now, and the Bills are number.
So do the Bills have a chance to get the number 1 overall seed?
They do if the Chiefs lose their final game.
So basically, you mean the Bills are probably going to play everybody?
Yeah, let me see.
That's the problem with the NFL in the small amount of games they have. You can't really sit guys because if you get a loss or two, you might drop, to the wild card sometimes. So it's tough, man. You want to protect your guys, but you also want to secure your spot, and that's the price of playing football.
Because the Chiefs are playing the Chiefs are at Oakland, and Buffalo. Buffalo is hosting New England, so it's like if the Chiefs win, then there's no question they're the number 1 seed. But if they lose and the Bills were to win, then that's how it goes. So yeah, quite the predicament for that franchise to be in at this point in the season. The Eagles, they went from the number 1 seed in the NFC to they're probably gonna be on the road in the wild card round. They've dropped 2 in a row without their quarterback.
It's my point. That's my whole point. Like, you sit your quarterback, and you lose a couple, and then you start dwindling down, the playoff bracket, and look at you now.
I don't even know who they are.
And now they talking bad about him, saying he ain't even MVP candidate.
The backup quarterback is Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
Not a bad backup, but I think he got hurt as well. I think he got hurt himself.
Of course.
No, he did not get. He played against the. Okay, I thought he got hurt against Dallas, but maybe he came back. But it's.
He threw the 32 passes, which I feel is a bit much when you had a balanced offense all year, and you only rushed the ball 15 times.
Yeah.
You're getting 4.5 yards a carry. So that was just, they dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, I don't understand that game plan. I know, granted, Minshew can't run like Jalen Hurts, so he's not like that dual threat. But that running game was still very, that still was the key to your offense. I don't know why they even got away from that against the Saints. The Saints not good.
No, especially when you only go 3 for 12 and third downs throughout the whole game. I know those running backs could have got you a couple more first downs. Yeah. It could have, could have got you more yardage. And
Turnovers, which pretty much was the difference in the game right here. That pick 6 late in the fourth quarter pretty much sealed the deal.
Of course, because they can't make it to the red zone.
It can't. They make it twice?
No, 0.
Oh, it was that big play that got the touchdown.
And then both teams combined for 13 sacks. Can't protect your quarterback. It was just look like number one on the block out there.
Lord have mercy. That is pretty bad. But yeah, they're faltering. I think right now, them and the Cowboys are tied right now for that. No, they still got a one game lead. They need to win. They need to win this last game.
Is Hurts injured?
Shoulder.
Shoulder. All right.
Shoulder. It was either shoulder or hamstring, but I know it was some type of injury that happened during the Bears game. So.
My thing is, Gardner Minshew can win you some games, but if you show that your starting quarterback doesn't need to throw that much, why are you having your backup do that? This doesn't make sense at all.
At all. So
it doesn't.
So Philly needs to win out, or guess what? They're gonna go on the road in the postseason. They got the Giants to close out the season, but they'll be on the road in the postseason. And you know who they might play in the postseason on the road? Tampa Bay.
Oh, jeez.
Who somehow they clinched a playoff spot, clinched their division after beating the Carolina Panthers. And this is just that whole NFC South has been a confusing division. Because nobody's good in that division. Man,
they're crawling into the playoffs, bro. I don't like.
Crawling.
They're crawling into the playoffs.
That's a compliment. That's being nice.
They struggle. I mean, I feel bad for Tampa Bay because they struggled with an awful Carolina team that was kind of trying to give them the game. Like, think about it. Carolina had, my bad. They did give them the game. Carolina had 3 turnovers, bro.
Yeah.
And then
big plays after big plays.
Then it was just bad, bro. Overall bad.
You gotta give Carolina credit. Ever since they fired their head coach and made some changes, they actually they've been playing a lot better football than they were early on, where they just had no clue what they were doing on offense with the quarterback mismatching. But like the last several games, they actually were playing well. But yeah, this one, how many times you just gonna leave Mike Evans wide open on one-on-one? Yeah. It was like every time I looked up, he was just wide open down the field, and it was like nobody near him.
Yeah, over 20 yards receiving is a little ridiculous. Especially when like Brady doesn't have all his targets, so you know where he's going. But they're just bad, bro. There were only 8 first downs the whole game. Like,
somebody got to win the division, right? Somebody got to win it.
Oh, my bad. Let me correct that because I said 8 because, my bad, they completed 3 fourth downs. My bad. 11.
And they were up 14-0. The Panthers were up 14-0 at one point in this game.
The game was
playing really well. And then they just want to just let Mike Evans just run down the field. Like, he's not one of the best receivers in the league. It's just leaving him one-on-one coverage. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess whatever works for you. Like this one. Like, what?
Yeah, that's Madden. That's Madden. That's video game stuff. Yeah, he's just chucking that thing just
right
anywhere.
There too.
Yeah, I didn't watch this whole game. But
I didn't either. I watched the highlights, and every time each highlights was this. So I don't know. I thought they have good young quarterbacks, and the vet just run by him. So the Bucs, they won their division. They guaranteed themselves at least one home game for the postseason. So it just.
Yeah, I don't think Brady wanted to go out like this, but he has a chance to throw for another 45 or 50 passes.
And maybe they could upset a team because
I could see that happening.
Because I mean the way they're playing, yeah, they might. All right. Lastly, a team we barely ever talked about. We'll talk about them because they're actually going to be in the playoffs, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, we occasionally say their name when we're picking our teams for the weekend. So occasionally we root for them.
But like for them to be in a position to make the postseason, it's just the biggest indictment of their former coach. The former coach they had.
I know you've been waiting to rub that salt in the wound.
He had all this talent and didn't know how to use it, doing all that dumb stuff, and you get Doug Peterson in. Trevor Lawrence has played a lot better this year than he did his rookie year, using all the skill guys they have, and it's just like, bro.
And you don't even have to be great in that division to make the playoffs.
At all.
Aren't they 8-8?
Yes. Yes.
There you go. I take that going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Walking around saying I'm a playoff coach, playoff caliber coach. It don't matter if you what your record is, as long as you make it there.
Hey man, the coach did win the Super Bowl, so.
But I'll be honest, man. I started like writing these stats down. Then I was like, well, I didn't. I said, why am I? No, I'll tell you what I wrote. But why am I writing these stats down when Mills is your leader? When Mills is your leader in Russia? Like, oh my bad, I called him Lamar Davis Mills. Right? That's how they had the men playing. Like, bro, like you got other guys. Like, like why are you the lead in Russia? And the lead, like, it doesn't make sense. It's just not a lead. That's not a not a lead. It's not a. I can't even talk today. It's not a formula for success.
At all, especially when your name's Davis Mills. Like,
that's two last names. You ain't supposed to trust somebody like that.
Right. Back to Trevor Lawrence. All right, Trevor Lawrence last year. 3,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, sacked 32 times, QBR 39.1. This year, he's 3,901 yards. He'll get 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, cut the interceptions in half, 8 interceptions, got sacked 26 times, give or take, 55 QBR and 95 rating, and the completion percentage went from 59% to 66%.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's getting better.
This is what happens when you have a head coach who used to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah, he showed you how to stay on the field.
Pretty much.
He's telling you everything he didn't do to stay out there.
Pretty much. We're going to go to No Huddle with Craig. He's going to talk about the playoff scenarios, and then we're going to come back. We got some other stuff to talk about.
What up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig. I'm here to give you the playoff picture. First, prayers and thoughts to Demir's family and himself, hoping that he gets a full recovery. That was not something you want to see, and we just hope for the best for him. With that being said, let's talk about this playoff picture. In the AFC right now, number one, Kansas City. They got the first round bye. Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Jacksonville are our top 4 teams, with the Chargers, Baltimore, and New England rounding up the bottom. In the NFC, you got Philly with a first round bye, San Fran, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay. You have a couple teams in the hunt, Chargers, Baltimore, New England, Miami, and Pittsburgh, all in the hunt to clinch a playoff spot in the AFC. And in the NFC, you have Dallas, the Giants, Seattle, Detroit, and Green Bay, all fighting for a spot. Seattle got that 7th spot in the NFC, hoping to close out the season, but with Detroit and Green Bay right on their tail, whichever team gets that W for sure jumps into that playoff spot. In the AFC, just to run it back real quick, New England holding on to that last spot. A Miami win or a Pittsburgh win and New England loss could change that up real quick. So will New England beat Buffalo? Buffalo has a tough matchup ahead of them. If Buffalo were to lose the game, New England would be able to maintain possession of that last playoff spot. But that's a tough matchup for New England. Buffalo is not only been one of the best teams in the league, gonna have a lot to play for coming into that Week 18 game. And speaking of which, you got the Buffalo-Cincinnati game that has not been scheduled and is not being planned to be scheduled before the Week 18 games. Therefore, it will be scheduled to happen afterwards. And what does that mean for everything else is really up in the air. But it's a tight race for the playoffs. the top 4 teams except for Jacksonville, weird enough, closing out, getting the number 1 spot in their division with only an 8-8 record. Only top 4 team in both both conferences with an 8-8 record. Oh no, sorry, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay gonna make the playoffs with an 8-8 record. So my playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, is I see Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to go beast mode in the playoffs and once again make an appearance in the Super Bowl. And I don't think there's a team in the AFC that's going to beat the 49ers. Even with Purdy at the helm, I just don't think Philly or Minnesota can do it. Kirk Cousins is one hell of a quarterback, but I don't think he's going to win you multiple playoff games. The Philadelphia Eagles, as well as they've been playing, they've lost to bad teams. The 49ers defense is just top of the line. They're healthy. Purdy has ignited his team. Christian McCaffrey is just a phenom. Nick Bosa is super disruptive. And then in the AFC, Cincinnati has an underrated defense and one of the best quarterbacks, one of the most accurate quarterbacks, and a wide receiver core that can rival anybody. So it looks like an exciting playoff series nonetheless. Last year was one of the best playoff series we've ever had. Let's hope we get something similar. A sleeper team I like is Jacksonville. I don't think that they're going to make it to a Super Bowl, but I think they might knock out a good team. So watch out for them. But with that being said, that's all I have for you this week. Until next week, see you on No Huddle. Back to After the Whistle.
All right, and we are back. Quickly, NBA news quickly. Donovan Mitchell, 71 points the other night. Is it me, or have you noticed there's been a lot of high-scoring individual games for players this year? I think we've already got 3 or 4 50-point games, a couple 60-point games. It's like scoring has gone up in the league.
My bad. That milk chocolate was delicious. I ain't never had one of these. What are these called, man?
I don't know.
Lynn does? Oh, my goodness. All right. Yeah, that man messed around. Almost had a triple-double. He almost had one of the greatest triple-doubles of all time.
Right?
He had 8 assists and 11 rebounds or something like that and 71 points.
Yeah, something like that. This comes off Luka.
Went 20 for 25 from the free throw line, so meaning if he didn't even make any free throws, he still to get you 51. Mm-hmm. Ooh. That's all I gotta say to that.
Yeah, and a double over, and they won the game too. That's the most important thing. They won the game.
One thing I did say though, somebody was talking to me about the game. I was like, he ain't Kobe. He did it in regulation.
Yeah, Kobe did it.
That's incredible when you think about how incredible it is to score 81 regulation. Now, 71 is very, very impressive. Yeah. But when you do it in a couple of overtimes, it's still impressive. But it's
even Booker, he did his in regulation. Granted, they lost, but he did his in regulation.
That's what I mean. There's levels to this greatness, but it's all great. Yeah. It is all great. It's just superior greatness, it's regular greatness.
Yeah, and we're seeing a whole lot of individual guys just go off this year. I don't know what it is that got all these guys just going off with all these crazy points.
I don't know, but Silver gonna find out because he's drug testing people as soon as they go off. He gonna find out and get to the bottom of it.
Ain't that usually the case when you do something crazy, you do something wild, you get drug tested?
One thing is you're professional. Jesus, you're the best in the world. Maybe you're supposed to have a couple games like this in your career. God forbid.
They do it. Even every sport does these random drug tests, but they be right after somebody has a career high.
Yeah, let them get it. Let them have a career week, career month. They be like, all right, something's fishy here. One game, the man was hot and made almost every free throw.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, pretty much. So kudos to that. This comes a week. I think it was the week before Luka had that 60, 20 triple-double. And then Joel Embiid had 53.
Yeah, but
and then Giannis 55.
Yeah, but the thing about Luka's nice, but he has the ball in his hand 95% of the time. That's the issue where a lot of people have with his 60 and the amount of points he scores. Bro, get the ball up.
Yeah.
Like, you give us double consistently. You know what I mean? Because you can give us that 40 and 10. I take that. Who wouldn't take 40 and 10?
Yeah, that 160.
Just saying.
Hey man, I don't know what's up with all this scoring in the NBA, but
I mean,
entertaining, but God,
this is my type
damn.
of, you know, that's what I like.
I be like that.
Yeah, I be wanting to see somebody get 40, 50 on their head.
Man, it was like that. It was like a week. There was like a week. No, a game. But they were like at least 6 players hit 40.
But you wanna know why it's only surprising? Because the skill set kind of like dipped a little bit after certain Hall of Famers and stars retired, and now it's elevating back up. Kyrie catching dunks off the miss. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like that. Still elevating back up, man.
You know who they should have drug tested? What's his teammate? I think he's Asian.
That boy, he got the ratty.
Remember when he went off? I'm like, he ain't get no drug test.
But they were just so shocked. They were just shocked at that. They're like, Mitchell usually get us 30 to 40 range. Where did 71 come from? Like, so that's probably why they drug tested him.
Oh man. Before I get into some college football stuff, boxing. Gervonta Davis and Hector Lewis. They'll be going 12 rounds. Lightweight, 135 pounds. This is coming off Davis. I don't know if you saw the news about the girl, alleged domestic violence. That the girl said, "Oh, he didn't do nothing to her," and it was just like
lock her up.
Yeah, this happened last week.
She
Actually.
need to go to jail.
This was last week, so it was right before a fight.
Not all that falsely accused and stuff. Nah, she gotta go to jail for that.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Like you don't gotta do years, but you gotta learn your lessons. Don't be playing people's livelihood, because you know what I mean. Once you get a record like that, you know what I mean. Like, it's just an awful look. Thank God he's a boxer. You know what I mean. He's not like a 9-to-5 or something.
Yeah, like it'd be one thing if y'all just got into an argument. Okay, that's it. But then, you know.
But when you get accused of putting hands on a lady, man, and you hold yourself as an upstanding man, for one, not even just a citizen, upstanding man, it's just certain things you just never want to be accused of.
Yeah, at all. Rashidi Ellis, she'll be fighting Romaine Villa, 12 rounds in the welterweight, 147 pounds. Good luck to Sheedy. And then we got Jaron Enos versus Karen. I don't even know how to say this last name. Pedro, you know how to say this last name? Chukadizian.
Okay.
For the IBF interim welterweight title, 147 pounds. So boxing stuff. Pedro, there was another one you talked about, right? That is not happening because one of the guys hurt his hand.
Yeah, that would be Jamel Charlo versus Tim Bazoo.
Okay.
For the undisputed super welterweight championship, 154 pounds.
Okay, and Charles the one that broke his hand?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
So the fight is postponed.
All right.
See, man.
There it is right there.
Pedro got that stellar pronunciation. Because you can roll your eyes, huh?
That dude got some scary eyes, though. His opponent, Shazu.
He's like a watcher.
Yep.
Well, his father is a Hall of Famer, Kostya Zoo.
Yep. Oh, it's Katsuzu's son?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, real quick, going back to Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia. Garcia's Dominican, so this is the first time a Dominican boxer would headline. Oh yeah.
So who you got?
Oh no, I'm going for Gervonta.
Oh man, don't be telling anybody that.
And, I'm sure all the Dominican folks going ready to party if he wins.
Oh yeah, you know that.
Yeah, I'm crashing the party.
Be right at Euphoria.
They're damn right.
What you talking about?
That is our daily boxing update. Make sure check those fights out. All right. There's some other stuff happening. All right. College football. Let's run through this. I mean, somebody said it best. It looked like Michigan just showed up and thought they were just gonna win the game. Like they came in this game unprepared as.
Let's be real.
Unprepared.
Let's be real. I think most Power 5 schools feel that way when they see TCU. I'm not even trying to disrespect them. I'm just saying, like, that's just how they feel when they see teams like TCU. But, nah.
You see, so,
nah.
I mean, that was one thing. You just giving up big plays after big plays after big plays. But when you spot them 14 points off pick sixes, you throw 2 pick sixes, There's a difference in the game right there.
Oh, you knew the game was over.
You throw 2 picks.
I'm a Michigan fan, and when you do stuff like that, and then against a team like that's not supposed to beat you or even be in the game, and they up 14-9,
right.
The game is over.
And then you get a stop. You get a score. You cut the lead down to 3. It's a 3rd down and like 8 or something, and then you give up a 70-something or 80-yard touchdown pass. That's when I was like, yeah, you're not winning this game.
It's kind of like when another sport when they're playing like a team that's just hitting all type of shots or goals that they would never do, and you're still in the game. Then it's like you just do one mistake and it's like, oh, you deserve to lose that game because you already gave them that confidence and that feeling that, oh yeah, we can really compete with these guys.
Right.
And
they can't. They just hurt themselves. They hurt themselves on numerous occasions. And then there's TCU has the ball with about 3-something left in the game. You got 3 timeouts, and they don't use their timeouts. They just let TCU run the clock. And then they eventually get the stop, but it's like you have no more timeouts, so now it's just like it's a free-for-all.
That's when coaching comes into play. Clock management, whatever you want to call it. That's the coach's responsibility. And he probably got overwhelmed. He was probably as shocked as they were.
Yeah. We saw a coaching meltdown. And then lastly, TCU will be facing off against the defending champs, the Georgia Bulldogs, who, I always say never trust a kicker. Never ever put your trust in a kicker.
They don't sweat enough. They don't do enough to be trusted. That's just a fact.
And Ohio State put their trust in their kicker late in that 4th quarter with about 5 or 10 seconds left to try to get them to win, and he didn't even hook it. He shanked that thing. It wasn't even close. But Ohio State, y'all, they were up. They were up 2 scores in the 4th quarter. And you get outscored 18-3 in the 4th quarter. I'm
not gonna lie. I'm not one of them people to be like, oh, I could have made that kick, but I could have missed it a lot better than that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. That was a bad miss.
You could have picked anybody in the stadium. They would have missed better than that. Like, bro, you were the visual athlete, and that's what you did?
At least give it a chance to doink.
You wouldn't even miss that, bro. You wouldn't miss that bad play in Madden upside down.
Oh my gosh! So TCU and Georgia will be facing off in the national title game come Monday. Hey man, good luck to TCU, man.
No, your luck stops here, brother.
I'm saying if they win this, it'll be one of the biggest upsets in college football history. But yeah, man, this Georgia team, yeah. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. All right. Let's go into our high school sports update. First up, I've got some coaches interview. First up, Newton North head coach Paul Connolly. This guy is hilarious on the sidelines for some of the stuff he be doing. They beat Catholic Memorial last week. They played yesterday against Worcester North and lost, but they beat Catholic Memorial last week. They both were undefeated. It was an overtime game. They won on a buzzer beater. Crazy game. I'm glad I went there instead of the Christmas tournament here. Check this out. All right, Coach. Anticipated game, highly anticipated game. Went down to the wire this time. What are you thinking of that shot?
That was a great high school basketball game. We've had some guys. We'll meet in the classroom real quick. I'll be right in there, okay? Classroom real quick, and then we'll be out. We've had some great matchups with Catholic Memorial. We have great respect for their school and their program. And Dennis is a friend of mine, Dennis Tobin, and that was a classic overtime game. We jumped out, they came back, it came down the end, and wow, Jose Padilla, man. I've been saying he's one of the, if he's not the best guard in the state, he's one of the top players in the state. He makes plays like that. He's been doing it over and over. He's a great leader in our school. He's just a solid kid and a great player. So no surprise that, as hard as he works, that shot goes in, So, but that was a classic high school basketball game. Great fan support. We had no fans last year at our game, so it was nice.
All right, and we are back. Okay, next up, we got Lynn English head coach Trev. They had their home opener yesterday against Revere. Actually, it was a pretty good back and forth game, actually.
Congrats to them. Revere's always, pretty decent.
Yeah, they were good.
That was a couple plays.
Yeah.
A couple years they had a girl that could give us like 30.
Oh, they had a girl that could give them 30. This big girl on Revere, I kept saying she's a size mismatch because every time she got the ball, she was doing stuff in the paint. But Maddie was hitting threes.
That's dope.
Forget the other. They were hitting threes. Them girls were hitting threes yesterday. That's all I'm saying. They were hitting threes. Check this out. We'll come back. All right, Coach. Home opener for your ladies. Seems like they found their offensive rhythm in that fourth quarter. What was the change in that fourth quarter?
I mean, I think we're still just trying to play unselfish basketball. So I think getting that ball movement, being able to finally get some defensive stops that led to some easy buckets, kind of helped us to be able to close out the game.
Your guards, Jody had some big shots. Amara had some big shots. Was that just a product of them having open looks and just knocking them down?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like take what the defense gives you. They were kind of clogging up the paint, so then we were able to get those outside kicks for some of those easy shots. I'm just glad we knocked them down.
All right, and lastly, you guys are coming off that loss against Lynn Classical. I mean, what was the focus coming into this one? Just putting that game behind you, coming into this one, you guys got 4 or 5 game homestand, and what was the focus for this homestand you guys have?
Just to get better on the defensive end. That's what our identity is trying to be, and I think we've been lacking that a little bit. So just continuing to get better defensively every single game, trying to just focus on the simple things. And just trying not to let teams go on as many runs as we're giving them. But once we focus on that, I think we'll be able to get in our rhythm that we want.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Okay, players. First up, we got Jose Padilla, who hit the game-winning shot for Newton North against Catholic Memorial.
All right, Jose, this was one of the more anticipated games early on in this season. Lived up to the hype. Just walk me through the last sequence in the fourth quarter and then the sequence in overtime.
I think we were tied up in the fourth, back and forth. They went on a run, we went on a run. They went, and when we went, we were tied up. We got some close buckets, some good buckets. They got some buckets that came back and forth the whole game. He made that free throw at the end. I saw 4 seconds on the clock. I just wanted to get a shot up. I wanted the ball. I wanted to shoot it, and came down the court, took a couple dribbles, and just shot it, and it went in luckily. So.
Did it feel good coming out your hand when you let it go?
I just shot it, man. I didn't even think about it. I just let it fly, and it just went in, honestly.
It was a roller coaster ride. You guys are with a lot of players coming back. What is this, a game like this rank?
I mean, it just gets ready for the playoffs. They're a great team, great coaches, great players. So it's only December, and it's a great playoff environment. The crowd, the energy was nice. So just getting us ready for the long run. Sure.
Also, I said, what did you do there? You were in offense. What got you going on offense this game? Seemed like you found the 3-ball too.
I saw it go in, and I just played honestly. I just hooped in. It worked, and we got the dub. So I'm glad. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Newton North big man Will Davis. That's a big boy.
All right, well, game right there, Talk to me about that sequence right there. First the sequence going into overtime, and then the sequence just
Oh my God, can I even think right now? I mean, Jose missed a shot at the end of the fourth quarter to bring it into overtime. The confidence that he had to shoot it again in overtime is unreal, honestly. I mean, I trust that man with anything. That's why I gave him the ball on the inbound set. I just trusted him with it.
It was a matchup with the big guy down there. So
yeah, for sure. He was good. He was physical. You just have to, it's all about base for basketball. Just get a lower base, be more physical, and usually the tougher man wins.
All right, man. This game like this early on in the season for you guys.
Oh my God, it gives us a crazy boost of confidence. I mean, they're number 4, right? I mean, something like that, and to beat them in this environment that way, I mean.
All right, lastly, we got Lynn English senior Alicia Jean. Came up big in the second half. All right, Alicia, you guys, home opener. You guys came out with the hard-fought win. What got you guys going, especially in that fourth quarter? It seems like you found your offense.
Honestly, I think we worked as a team better, and we talked more, which Coach Chev told us to talk more, and that helped us out a lot. And I feel like we were really playing together as a team.
What did you guys learn coming off that loss to Lynn Classical? What did you guys do differently coming into this game to prepare for this one?
Coming off the loss, we learned a lot, and we knew that we had to work harder than before. And we realized that our defense is a big part of it, and what we needed to fix in our defense, we fixed that up, and we learned like more presses and stuff like that.
You guys forced a lot of turnovers in that full court pressure. Also, you guys are finding the 3-ball was just that a product of moving the ball and finding the open person?
Yes, and it was more like giving it to the bigs, the guards, and passing it back out, and that helped a lot. It was the ball movement.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Okay, weekend. We are back.
I'm not going.
High school highlights. First up, Lynn English girls versus Revere from yesterday. Check this out. Next up, we got Lynn English boys just beat down Revere.
As they should.
Yeah. Right, and we are back. Lastly, Newton North versus Catholic Memorial. Probably one of the better games of the season so far.
No highlights?
Nah, we're doing it after.
Oh, okay.
I gotta edit it then. All right, and we are back. Okay, last but not least, week 17, top 10 plays, and we're gonna do our game picks and get up out of here. All right, we are back. Time for our game picks. First up, Thursday Night Football. Is it Thursday? No, this is not Thursday Night Football. This is Saturday Football. Doubleheader, Chiefs, Raiders, Titans, Jaguars.
Chiefs, man.
Yeah, Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs, and I'm going with the Jaguars.
Who was the other two games?
Titans, Jaguars.
Jags.
Yeah. Bucks, Falcons. I don't even know why the Falcons still play.
I got the Falcons.
You got the Falcons?
Yeah, I got the Falcons.
I got the Bucks because the Falcons are like on Cancun mode. Patriots, Bills, y'all know what the deal. We don't pick against the Pats. Vikings, Bears.
Vikings need to get back on track. That's Vikings.
You got the Vikings. I do too. Ravens, Bengals.
Is Lamar playing?
I don't think so.
Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals. And Ravens already locked up a playoff spot. Texans, Colts, a toilet bowl.
Ain't no way I can pick Houston.
How much you?
The Colts, man.
Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins need to win.
I got the Jets.
You got the Jets?
Yep.
This is in Miami, so I'm going with the Dolphins. Panthers, Saints.
Panthers.
I'm going with the Panthers. Browns, Steelers.
Oh, Browns.
I'm going with the Steelers because it's a miracle that they are 8-8.
Yeah, disappointed.
Chargers, Broncos.
Oh, Chargers.
Same Chargers. Giants, Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. Cardinals, 49ers.
49ers.
12-4 49ers. Nobody been talking about. Yeah, I'm going 49ers. Rams, Seahawks.
Purdy, baby, Purdy.
Oh. I got the Seahawks.
I'm with you on that one. Commanders and the Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys.
I think the Commanders are going to ruin Dallas's chance of clinching the division. Lions, Packers.
The Pack.
I'm going with the Lions with the upset. Just because I like a knee brace guy, whatever, ankles, whatever his name is.
Before we go.
Yeah.
Go Purdy. Go Purdy.
Oh, man, we are out of here. Thank you for watching. I promise y'all we're going to have player interviews coming up soon, back again. So check us out, lyntv.org, all that good stuff.
The warm-up show.
Yeah.